Good afternoon, and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program.
This program is sponsored in its entirety by the Southwest TV Translators Association and is supported by the Dolores County Broadcasting Network. Special thanks goes to the manager of Southwest TV Translator Association, Wayne Johnson, for his guidance and assistance.
The News at Noon program is in the pilot stage. We hope to bring a variety of news and commentary for the Four Corners region.
With all that said, I'm Kendra Cook and my co-hosts are Kelsey Kiesling and Jerry Tope. And now, here's the news. Colorado's governor has ordered the destruction of marijuana treated with unapproved pesticides. This comes after more than 6 months ago, Denver authorities started quarantining plants tainted by unauthorized chemicals. The executive order calls marijuana treated with certain pesticides a threat to public safety. This came after an article in the Denver Post revealed barred pesticides had found their way into products sold to the public. The city has since issued a half-dozen recalls of marijuana products. Other plants have been released back into commerce because residual levels of the pesticides dropped to safe levels. So far, there have been no reports of any human illness traced to chemicals used on marijuana. There is no pesticide specifically approved for use on marijuana because the chemicals are regulated by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and cannabis is illegal under federal law. As a result, there have been no tests to show how pesticides used on marijuana could affect consumers or whether their use is safe. 2 months ago, in western Colorado, there was a raid on Bureau of Land Management land along the Dolores River near Gateway on Colorado Western Slope. At that time, they arrested 1 Honduran and 5 Mexican nationals. Since then, a federal grand jury has now indicted 2 individuals suspected of this offense. According to court documents, as reported in the Journal, evidence of at least 1,000 marijuana plants appeared recently harvested, with about 70 kilograms of processed marijuana still on site. After the raids, the BLM and Drug Enforcement Agency continued to monitor the area, and the same 2 vehicles previously suspected were seen in the area. Investigation led to 2 addresses, and on November 13th, the DEA, along with other authorities, executed a search warrant at a residence in Parachute and one identified as San Juan Vista property. The 2 men indicted, Luis Adolfo Garcia, 33, of Parachute, and Luis Rios Cortez, 23, a Mexican national, are charged with illegally manufacturing and intending to distribute marijuana. They are being held without bond.
The Journal states that the local authorities have yet to solve an apparent BB gun shooting spree that occurred more than a week ago along Main Street. As of press deadlines on Monday, Cortez Police Department spokesperson Angela Young said that the case remained classified as an ongoing investigation. "We don't have any updates," Young said. "No arrests have been made." According to the police, an unknown suspect or suspects apparently armed with a BB gun on Saturday, November 22nd, vandalized 8 storefronts between the 10 block of West Main and 500 block of East Main. Of the businesses targeted, only the Fiesta Theater, Main Street Brewery, and Super 8 Motel were open when police responded to the first shots fired call at 7:39 p.m. on the night in question. No injuries were reported. Potential charges include criminal mischief and reckless endangerment.
The Dove Creek Conservation District has recently made their seedling tree and shrub order form available for 2016. The deadline's not until March 31st of next year, with delivery April 21st. However, there are a limited number of each species available, such that getting your order in early allows you the best opportunity to select the ones you want. The nursery stock is provided at a low price as they are used for conservation purposes only. The DCCD has further information on their website, dovecreekcd.org, or you can visit the officiators from the county courthouse. Many other counties also provide conservation plant programs, so be sure to check with your local office. The Tree and Shrub Sales Program is an annual event providing quality seedlings in cooperation with the Colorado State Forest Service Nursery.
The Journal states that the Colorado State Patrol in Durango is reminding drivers of the Move Over law, which requires drivers to reduce their speed and move over when passing a stationary emergency vehicle. 2 troopers were recently killed in the line of duty, one by a suspected drunken driver and another during a pursuit. The most recent death involved Trooper Jamie Jersevics, 33, who was apparently struck by a drunken driver November 15th on Interstate 25 in Castle Rock. Cadet Taylor Tebow, 21, was killed May 23rd when a car struck him near Longmont. In addition to the 2 officers who were killed this year, 5 officers were struck and killed by vehicles last year, said Trooper Aaron Robertus with the Colorado State Patrol Office in Durango. The Colorado legislature passed the Move Over law in 2005. Simply put, the statute states that when approaching a stationary emergency vehicle, a driver must move over when the roadway allows or reduce their speed to a safe speed in order to pass the location of the stationary emergency vehicle, Robertus said. Failure to do so can result in a 4-point violation and a fine of $169.50 or more if the violation results in a crash. Robertus said that the average perception reaction time of a driver is 1.6 seconds. That means a car going 60 miles per hour will travel 140.16 feet before applying the brakes. He asked drivers to minimize distractions while driving, including cell phones, food, and radios.
Any time of the year is a good time to study dinosaurs. The director of the Moab Museum and former paleontology curator at the Museum of Western Colorado's Dinosaur Journey in Fruita, Mr. John Foster, works all year round on studying tracks and bones in the quest to piece together the history of these great animals that roamed the earth millions of years ago. In a recent discovery, Mr. Foster was studying tracks made along what is called the Copper Ridge in Arches National Park north of Moab, Utah. He noted that the marks found were similar to those of a large theropod identified in Spain. Copper Ridge is located in the Morrison Formation. Abundant in our area, it's known to have at least 3 of these such tracks, but this is the first time they may be connected to the dinosaur called Hispanosaurus, a large meat-eater named several years ago in a Spanish find. As the Earth's plates and land masses have shifted over millennia, we know that such animals shared hunting grounds when the Morrison layer was formed. This layer can be found from the Rockies to what is now Europe and even into Africa. An interesting note about this particular track is that the animal appears to be limping, as the strides from one side to the other show a dragging mark. The newly opened Moab Giants Dinosaur Park, where you can see track casts and dinosaur replicas on display, is the first of its kind. Not only is it set amongst some of the world's most breathtaking scenery in Moab, Utah, but it is a unique experience. Journey back through time with a 3D cinema, introducing you into the prehistoric world, then roam the extraordinary landscape they called home, as evidenced by the huge concentration of fossilized tracks found all around the area. The Tracks Museum is full of entertainment with interactive learning touchscreens, games to play, and visually stunning exhibits that not only fascinate but educate. It is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and sits on the west side of the Highway 191, 9 miles north of Moab.
Students wishing to enter the Automotive Service Technology program at Southwest Colorado Community College can now start in the spring semester. Registration for the spring semester is underway. Classes start January 18th. In the past, students would have to enroll in the automotive program in the fall semester. The Automotive Service Technology program at SCCC prepares you for a range of careers in automotive maintenance and repair. The program is accredited by the National Institute for Automotive Technicians Education Foundation, which cover all areas of automotive service excellence certification. Students who successfully complete the ASE program will receive an Associate of Applied Science degree in Automotive Technology. The program also offers 9 certificates and mini-certificates. The program is open to adults and high school students. If you are interested in the program, you are welcome to call 970-564-6215 to make an appointment and tour the shop on the college's west campus at 33057 US 160 between Mancos and Cortez.
Our atmospheric CO2 weekly averages from November 22nd through the 28th were 400.37 parts per million. 2 weeks ago, 400.35 parts per million. 1 year ago, 397.78 parts per million. 10 years ago, 378.56 parts per million. Moving to our 5-day forecast image, this week in Dove Creek we expect highs to range between 38 and 48 degrees and lows between 9 and 18 degrees. Conditions will be mostly sunny Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday with a little increase in the cloudiness Friday and Sunday. Winds are not supposed to get above 8 miles per hour except for Saturday afternoon for a couple of hours in the afternoon where we'll get 11 or 12. Now we'll look at our national weather map image. The storm that caused all the weather over the weekend has finally shifted west, shifted well northeast to the plains, leaving us under much colder north to northwestern flow. Widespread snow is possible in the upper Midwest. You'll see that on the top of your screen over here. And heavy rain possible for portions of the Tennessee Valley and central Appalachians and the middle Atlantic. A vast area spanning from the northern plains to upper Midwest will be impacted by a winter storm over the next couple of days as the associated low and cold front slowly trek across the central U.S. Numerous winter storm warnings and advisories are in effect for Nebraska, the Dakotas, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Accumulations of 2 to 6 inches will be common for this region and local higher amounts possible. Rain is expected to develop along the cold front from parts of the upper Great Lakes to the lower Mississippi Valley and the western Gulf Coast, and will move eastward as the front progresses. Periods of heavy rain may occur for portions of the Tennessee Valley and central Appalachians. Flash flood warning so will be possible for these areas over the next several days. The system will merge with the low pressure off the mid-Atlantic coast and associated front extending from the southern mid-Atlantic into the Ohio Valley. The system will lift northward to the southern New England coast by Wednesday. Rain is forecast to accompany the front as well. For a look out here, here's our regional satellite image. Actually, I was expecting the one with clouds. Nevertheless, out over the Pacific, we have two fronts that will be moving northwest, in from the northwest, but will dissipate before making landfall. Nevertheless, there will be rain, initially limited to the Olympic Peninsula. However, this evening it will begin to move inland to parts of the northern Intermountain region by Wednesday. Snow will be spread across the higher elevations of the Cascades tonight and into Wednesday, picking up intensity Thursday into Friday, as well as expanding eastward into the northern Rockies.
The Dolores Bears are optimistic heading into this basketball season. The injury-plagued Bears had a final record of 2-18 last season. This year, however, they are bigger, more physical, with the luxury of added depth. Josh McCoy, Brendan Donaldson, Jalen Balderrama, and Ben Likens are returning this season as the next 4 lead scorers after losing their lead scorer Michael Ford to graduation. Larry Schwartz described Balderrama as a slasher who shoots the ball well from the outside. Schwartz also said that Likens is the team's driving force. With their added size, with better numbers, the Dolores Bears are aiming to grab a San Juan Basin League title this season.
In area news, the Southern Ute Indian Tribe's Solar Grant project reached a major milestone 2 weeks ago when it received approval from the Southern Ute Tribal Council for interconnection and power purchase agreements with La Plata Electric Cooperative. The LPEA's approval came the week before at their monthly board meeting. The documents will get signed pending a final legal review. Southern Ute Alternative Energy, LLC, has worked with La Plata Electric Cooperative since early 2014 on the details for connecting up to a 1 megawatt solar facility to LPEA's electric distribution lines. The grant specifies the project must be built on tribally owned lands and energy is for the benefit of the tribe. The project will occupy approximately 10 acres of land and will generate energy equivalent to a 15% offset of the total energy usage at about 10 tribally owned buildings. The project will be the largest solar PV project within LPEA's service territory. The next milestone for the solar grant project are to finalize a site on the reservation and start the design and engineering of the facility.
I'd like to remind you that tonight, Tuesday, December 1st, right here on DCTV, channel 32.1, there will be a special live show to talk about the opportunities for work with the Colorado Trust on developing community-based and led projects. It will be between 5 and run to 6:30. At that time only, you are encouraged to call on with your views. Call 970-677-2283. Only between 5 and 6:30. The topics to discuss over the 3 questions that what you like about Dove Creek, what makes living in Dove Creek challenging, and what you'd like to see done to make the change for the better.
Again, thanks for tuning in. For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and all those working to bring you DCTV and the News at Noon program from Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. See you next time.